Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and today I'm going to share with you, I'm going to call it a journal booklet. It's a card that is a little oversized that will fit inside of a paper bag junk journal. I've got some images from Calico Collage, and remember, I always have the links in my description box so you can figure out where I've got these things. I have some things that I die cut on my Cricut, a little fence, and the skull and crossbones. And in fact, I have a few kits of the skull and crossbones, bats, and spiders in my shop. And then I have words, like this one, it says, "You say which," like it's a bad thing. And I have these available in my shop. They come about 53 different word phrases. I've taken a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock and I have cut it down to be 5 3/4 tall by, I believe it's 10.5 inches wide, if I remember. No, it was 11.5 inches wide. So it was 5 3/4 inches tall by 11.5 inches wide, and then folded that in half, and this is going to be my base. Then I've got a couple of pages out of a book. When I look at books, for example, I go to Dollar Tree or the thrift store, I look at the font of the book, sometimes what it says, and I always look at the size of the book. And in this case, it was a 6 by a little over 9 inches. It doesn't have to be this big. That's just what I liked for this project. So next thing we're going to do is I've got a spray box that has a stencil that I made. So this is kind of like a chevron stencil. This is my prototype. And I'm laying that inside here, and then I've got a few colors of Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist and Simply Sheer. Wait, wrong one. I want the orange. Where'd it go? There it is. The yellow. So we've got black, which is almost black, safety orange, and maple yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Tattered Angels and make sure that I shake it up because it's got the pigment and the mica powders in it. And I'm going to spritz this across the bottom of my stencil on the page. Then I'm going to put some of the orange next to the black. And then we're going to end with yellow. I'm going to take the other book page and lay it on top and mop up any excess Tattered Angels that's resting on top of the stencil. And while I've got this in my box, I'm going to go ahead and spritz it a couple of times with some of the maple yellow and the safety orange, because I plan to use this at another time, and I just want it to have it ready to go. So that is what the mop-up side looks like. Let's take a look at the other portion. Didn't that turn out pretty cool? I like the way that looked. It was kind of fun to do it this way. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my paper cutter and trim it down to fit the front of my card. It's still a little damp, so I'm going to use my heat tool to dry it because it's really difficult to cut wet paper. Well, I'm going to cut a 5.5 inch square out of part of this, so I'm just going to use my paper cutter here. And while I have this piece out, I'm going to cut it to be 5 3/4 inches long because I plan to use this in a junk journal as a pocket. So I'm going to set that aside and save it for later. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to put a black border all the way around this, and I'm showing this frequently, consistently in my videos so that each of you can make a determination of your own. Usually I stitch around the perimeter of my papers to give it a decorative touch. Here is an alternative to stitching. I've got a ruler and a black permanent marker. And I'll zoom in so you can see this. So basically all I'm doing is taking this ruler that has a metal edge and I'm lining it up, leaving just a sliver of that paper showing, and I'm going to take this marker and mark down the page, and that's going to give it a black border. I'm going to do that all the way around on this piece as well as the card base and my photo or digital image. Okay, so now that I've gone all around all the pieces with the marker, I want to add some distress ink to the edges. I've got the walnut stain and a blending tool, and I'm going to do the technique where you start off of and blend onto, and that'll just give us a nice little dark corners and edges. I've got my black soot out. Whenever I cut these on my silhouette, sometimes it leaves a little bit of the white edge of the paper showing. So I found that quickly I can go in here with the distress ink and cover that up. And I don't have to try to cut it again with scissors and get it all wonky and or mess up and cut it in half or something. And while I've got the walnut stain out, I'm going ahead and I'm going to go around this skull and crossbones just a little bit, kind of touching it. It grunges it up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to start layering this together. And what I recommend is that you look at your card/journal base that you're making and make sure that you have the fold where you want it. In my case, I want it on my left-hand side when I'm looking at it so that it's right side up, in my opinion. And I think what I want to do is I want to adhere this down going in this direction because I like that. Oh, I guess it's kind of an ombre faded look with the different colors on there. Kind of reminds me of candy corn, except instead of using white we used black. So now I'm going to use some of my glue here that has the no clog writing cap on it because I only need a small amount of glue. So I'm just going to make a little bead right on the perimeter. And then I'll do a zigzag down the middle. And then I'm going to center this onto my base. And then on the back of the photo, I'm going to put just right on the perimeter again. So I have a little fence that I made on my Cricut. So now what I'm going to do is take some of the glue with the fine tip again because I don't need a whole lot. And we're going to make a little line on here. And then that will have enough adhesive that I can attach it to my cover. And then I have the skull and crossbones, so we'll go in and put some glue on the back side of it. Let's adhere it over here in the corner. Putting a little glue on the saying. And I think I want to put it down here on the bottom. And I have one of these little glitter bats that I made. I made my own glitter paper and then I used my Cricut to cut it out. So I'm just put some glue on the back side of it. And that will go up here in this corner. And then before I go, I want to do something with this little piece. So I'm going to take the top and I think right about the 3-inch mark, so about a 1/2 inch in this case, I'm going to fold it down. I'm going to take a little bit of glue and put it on this edge and press that in place. And then I have little images that are also from Calico Collage. This is a domino size image, and then I've matted it with some black and some brown papers. So I'm going to place this on here, but I'm going to make it like a pocket. So I'm just going to open up and put on 3 sides there. And then place this right here. And this will become a pocket in my other journal. So I did something with both pieces of the paper that I sprayed. And let me show you what some of the other journals that I made look like. Using the same concept. So here's one with this Calico collage image. Here's another one. These 4 images come on the same sheet with Calico collage. These 4 images, I use scrapbook paper in the background, and then I only added the little spiders and no sayings. And then this one, I have a spider web stencil in my shop that I created, and I thought these just looked really cool with the spider web behind it. Isn't that kind of neat? So there's some ideas on making a little card or a booklet. You could go ahead and add more paper in here and make a signature. I think I'm just going to put it in my paper bag as it is. It'll fit right into the paper sack portion of that. And that's what I'm going to put in some of my paper bag journals that I'm making. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, comment below if you have any questions or comments that you would like to make. Of course, again, check that description box for links to the items that I used today, as well as my blog and social media connectors, including my Facebook groups. If you haven't already subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell at the top so that you'll get a notification the next time I create a video. Well, again, I thank you so much for watching. I'm going to continue working here, and you have a fabulous day. Bye!